It's Steve Austin on the airnetwork.net. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for listening online or perhaps on your mobile device tonight. Special night, as is the first in a series of podcasts with Ike Taylor, former Steeler, along with my cousin and co-host, John Harris. Hey, welcome in, guys. What's been going on? What's happening? Hey, John, what's up?
What's up, cuz? What's happening?
You got it, man. You got it. I'm excited. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's great to be back in the saddle with the Ike Taylor Show. Did it for 6 years. Took a little break. Ike, of course, two-time Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now on NFL Network, where you can catch him. Does a little bit of everything. He's the man with the voice on the Top 100 Countdown. You can see him with Maurice Jones-Drew. Ike, what's going on, man?
The genuine introduction by Steve Austin on the what's up to his cousin.
What's up?
I'm doing fine over here.
But I mean, it was a little bit of a downtime, man. I missed it, but we knew we were going to come back to it. I mean, we had such a good time for a long time, a lot of great shows, a lot of great memories. We're going to make some more. That's how I see this. NFL season never over. 12 months, a year. Right now, slow, but we're looking into some really interesting things going on. Not only with you, but in the league. Before we really get into the NFL deal, talk a little bit about for you this NFL Network thing now, man. This TV thing. I know you were a player for 12 years. It was your heart and soul, everything about you. You've made this smooth, easy transition to TV, dude. What's going on with it right now?
It started right here, Jay. Like, it started on this Ike Taylor show. It started on radio. It started when you asked me almost 7 years ago, would you commit to doing a show every Tuesday? It started. And I committed. I didn't know how big the commitment was going to be, but it wound up turning out pretty good. So the transition from from radio to TV, it's a different transition, but the foundation was laid on the Ike Taylor show earlier. So, man, the NFL Network, I'm fortunate enough, for one, to hire me, two, to stay with me and let me go through my growing pains. Now I think the world from here on out, especially if you're watching TV, you're going to get a passionate, a genuine, a player's insight, a locker room insight kind of feel from what I see, and I'm going to deliver it to the people who's watching or listening to the Ike Taylor show or catching Ike Taylor on NFL Network.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the Ike Taylor show. I mean, you're the guy that was out there on the field for 12 years, a lot of great experiences, a lot of great stories, a lot of great connections. We're going to have some really great guests on the Ike Taylor show. Our good friend, Dave T. Thomas, perhaps the most knowledgeable NFL draft guru out there. He basically discovered you out of Louisiana Lafayette, convinced NFL teams to come down there and check you out. The rest is history. Andy Benoit works with SI.com with Peter King, another NFL aficionado who's been a regular on the show. We're going to have him on there. And we're going to have a lot of other guests, a lot of your friends, players, NFL guys, and maybe, hopefully some entertainers and some other athletes as well. I mean, it's just you're going to need to tune in on the Air Network to the Ike Taylor show and find out who we're going to have every week.
I think you hit it on the head, Jay. From players to entertainers to even fans. Like, I want to hear what everybody got to say. I want to see the perspective from pretty much everybody. So we're going to get as many guests, all kind of guests, on the Ike Taylor show. Just stay tuned, and we will let everybody know when a guest is appearing or coming up.
Let's jump right into it, talk a little NFL. It's off season, but of course it's never the off season in the NFL. A lot of interesting stories. Free agency. I mean, a name that jumps out at me, is Von Miller in Denver, Super Bowl MVP. Basically just crushed the spirit of Carolina in that Super Bowl early. Single-handedly almost won that game. And now there's talk that he may not accept the contract offer, or at least the 1 year deal right now. He wants to be paid, and it's one of the reasons why it's so difficult for teams to repeat in the Super Bowl. You won two, you were in three, and you know firsthand how difficult it is to repeat. Once you're on the top of the mountaintop, everyone's trying to knock you off.
Don't get it twisted. Von Miller did win that game by himself. Just from a pass rushing standpoint, being a run stopper, also covering receivers, Jericho Cotchery on the sideline. Like, that's rare for a corner or a safety to be able to cover Jericho Cotchery, let alone a linebacker who can put his hand on the ground or he can stand up and rush, Von Miller. So when you have a guy like that, Jay, he's that valuable. Like, he's been doing this consistently when he's been on the field. So you ask the guy, can you give me 16 games? He wound up giving you 16 games and a ring. So we can talk about what he's saying on Instagram or social media on how he wants to get paid or what he's not taking. Just for me, coming from a player standpoint, you got to know, man, he's one of the most valuable guys on your team. The bad thing about winning Super Bowls is everybody get paid. Your third string guy get paid. Randall L got paid a hefty contract after we won that 2005 Super Bowl from Washington.
Yep.
Big money. Chris Hope got big money. Ike Taylor wound up getting big money. Troy got big money. So it's just guys who you rarely hear from. Brett Kiesel, Aaron Smith, like guys who are not really big names wind up getting paid. Why? Because people want to be around Super Bowl champions. People want to know what y'all was doing in the locker room. People want to know the work ethic. People meaning other teams, other general managers, other coaches. So when I say this, yeah, I think he should get paid. Whatever he want to get paid. What I was saying in my head a long time ago was 6 years, 120, maybe $125 million. Pay the man. That's what I'm looking at. Now, on a GM standpoint, just able to sit in meetings while I'm playing, Jay, and you know this, with Kevin Colbert, Mike Tomlin, like understanding the business side of it. John Elway, he did what it took for 2 years. He didn't like the beating he took, first of all, against Seattle with Denver. He put all his eggs in one basket on offense. It didn't work. He flipped the script. He said, you know what? Defense wins championships. So I'm about to go high on defense. I'm going to go out and sign Chris Harris Jr. I'm going to go out and get Talib. And I'm going to get TJ Ward. And I'm going to draft defensive linemen who can go through the pass rusher if they just so happen to run, catch the running back. And I'm going to give me some mobile linebackers, some fast linebackers. They're not going to be big, but they're going to be fast, and they're going to be able to cover. He figured it out. That was the blueprint. Seattle had that blueprint. That's exactly what they had. Had a defensive line who was stout. We're going to get to the quarterback. Also, if a running back comes to us, we're going to tackle him. But we pass-orientated. You got Richard Sherman. You got, what's my guy in the back? You got Earl Thomas at the safety. You got Cam Chancellor at the other safety. Like, that was the strength, or probably still is the strength to their team. And if you ask anybody on the Denver Broncos team, yeah, they got a good front four, maybe a good front seven. But don't get it twisted. That secondary makes them compete week in and week out. You got a third cornerback, Roby, a third cornerback. The tape that I watch on Roby, man, Roby is the X factor to that team as a young stud. He's a good cover guy to that team as a young stud. So my thing to John Elway is sometimes you got to put your pride aside. Like, if you like a guy, he get paid now. There's no such thing as waiting to training camp. The generation is changing. The GM's making different moves. Like, you know, when I played, John, you ain't really get paid to training camp. You negotiated the training camp. Now you see teams today, they getting paid right now. They not waiting in training camp. They want their guys in training camp. They trying to hit the ground running.
All the draft picks are signed. That never used to be the case.
They trying to hit the ground running, Jay, and that's what I'm saying. You got to change with a generation. This ain't macho no more. It's nothing better than having a Von. And what I see from a player standpoint, Von Miller is good for the locker room. For the locker room, he's a whatever guy, and a whatever guy meaning he can hang with a country dude who's from a small town, or he can hang with a big city guy who's from a big city. It seems like everybody just gravitate to Von Miller. You can't put a price on that.
So say they don't sign him. Is that where the ego takes over and it's all about me putting this team together, and next thing you know, this great Super Bowl team, hint hint, Seattle, is no more. It doesn't take long. As quick as it takes to build it, it can come apart very, very, very quickly. That's what happens in the league. That's why it's so hard to repeat for so many reasons: injuries, contracts, ego, all kind of things.
It's gonna be devastating if they don't sign that man. And if you don't think they're beefing, just look at the Brock Osweiler and the John Elway situation. You can't tell me Brock don't still feel some kind of way about that, about not playing, about not starting. Because Brock looking at it like, shoot, I could have almost threw 4 picks in the Super Bowl and won.
Yeah.
That's how he looking at it. Like, don't get it twisted. Statistically, the Panthers had better stats all the way around the board.
Yeah.
All the way around the board. That Denver Broncos defense won that game. And we all know defense wins championships. So Brock said, you know what? I'm not coming to the ring ceremony. I don't want to go. And you can't tell me that man ain't still feeling bitter about certain situations and decisions during that year last year that was made. I don't know if it was by the head coach. I don't know if it was by the GM, John Elway. What I do know, he still got a bitter taste in his mouth and can't wait to play him this year.
And when you look at, when we go back to Von Miller, then you've got Fletcher Cox just signed this mega deal in Philadelphia, which is going to, I would imagine, impact on how, even though they play different positions, he is a defensive player, and I'm sure Von Miller wants to be the highest paid defensive player, I would imagine. So that may not help negotiations at all either.
Don't get it twisted, man. Fletcher Cox is a boy dog, as Coach Mitchell
boy
said.
Dog.
He's a grown man. And what you gotta like about Fletcher is he plays everywhere. He plays D end, he plays D tackle. He don't come out on third down. So Von, like, man, I single-handedly won the Super Bowl just about. You see my stats when I play.
Right.
You see me covering.
Right.
So if he get paid that, you know what? Take it off the table. I need some more. And I can feel it. And I understand.
I can feel this show already, man. The energy, the vibe. Mm-hmm. I'm loving it. Mm-hmm. This is just a sampling of what it's going to be about this year as we move to another NFL season. You're going to be able to catch it all on the Ike Taylor Show here on the Air Network. I'm excited about it. I hope you're excited about it. Your fans, I know, are going to be excited about it. Greg, excited to work with you, my man.
Hey, I'm always excited to work with guys. Hey, by the way, Ike, Marcus Colston, who was in town over the weekend here in Huntington, he sends his best. And your boy, Lenny Hune, the dude with the van that comes and sees you after every game.
Yeah.
Lenny says, hey.
Next time you see the boys, tell them I say what's popping.
I will, but listen, Lenny, he's from here. Lenny goes to every Steeler game. Yeah, man.
Wait till Steeler Nation finds out about the Ike Taylor Show on the Air Network. Your followers, Ike. I mean, it's just opening up a new horizon. I'm excited about it, man.
This ain't nothing but a preview, and if anybody who's listening, looking for insight, looking for details, just looking for anything to help you understand what's in the locker room, how I see it on the field, how John as a fan or an analyst sees it in his eyes. We're going to give you all that. We're going to give you all that. So always stay tuned to the Ike Taylor Show. We coming up. This ain't nothing but a little preview. Listen and learn. That's our whole goal for this show. For y'all to listen and for me to teach y'all just a little bit. If it's just a little subtle thing about what's going on in football. And some great insight. And we're going to have fun. This show is about to blossom. Stay tuned to the Ike Taylor Show. Steve Austin, John Harris. There you go.
And I think the show's about to blow. What do you think, Johnny?
You know that, man. That's a wrap. It's like
hey, listen, can we get together again, maybe for another podcast before the camp opens up, and then we'll meet together. We'll get up together maybe at Steeler camp this year.
Okay.
Let's do that. Do a live remote or something. All right.
That sounds good. So as soon as we get Ike's schedule,
all right,
when he's going to be up at camp, we'll see what we can try to work out.
All right. The Ike Taylor Show coming soon to the airnetwork.net. Don't forget, you can always check out the podcast for a few weeks. It'll be up there on our site. In addition to that, John Harris from the Tribune Review Pittsburgh will be joining Ike each and every week. We'll be taking calls live, of course, on the show starting in the fall. In addition to that, by the way, they've got the inside. John, you guys had mentioned one guy. Name that this guy's like the guru of football, man. He's even better than Mel Kiper. What was the name of the guy?
Dave T. Thomas. Ike knows this man personally.
Man, there's gonna be some
Dave T. Thomas.
Yeah,
he reject phone calls from GMs and owners.
Really?
They're at hand and foot with him. This guy been doing this since the early 70s. This is what Dave T. Thomas do. National scouting guru. Not only does he do football, he does basketball.
Really?
When you want to talk about a walking encyclopedia, just in sports period, let alone his forte is football, you got to talk about a Dave T. Thomas. A good friend of mine has become a great friend of John Harris. Please, anybody who's listening, stay tuned to Dave T. Thomas. Got a young stud up and coming. You've been hearing about this guy, Andy Benoit. He's going to be off and on the show. Got Tom Shaw, the workout guru. He's going to be off and on the show. Just stay tuned, man. We got special guests coming, and we're going to let y'all know. Stay updated to the Ike Taylor Show. See y'all next time. Peace.
It's the Ike Taylor Show coming soon to the airnetwork.net. Thanks again to Ike Taylor and John Harris. They'll be joining us here on the Air Network. Check it out online or on your mobile device on TuneIn. Download that free app and check out the AirNet. Until next time, peace.